Alright, today we're going to be looking at activity 1.13. Okay, our goals for the day: identify the elements of the exposition, that means the beginning of a story, by accurately recording textual evidence that supports interpretation. So you're going to make some thoughts about the beginning, how the author starts the story. And identify and utilize varied sentence patterns in writing. Alright, so this is a story. As you read the following story, look for and mark the different events in the plot. So if you want to highlight those main events, or if you just want to, put in the My Notes section the main events, circle unknown words and phrases so you can highlight those as well. Try to determine the meaning of the words by using context clues, word parts, or a dictionary. Alright, so we're going to be looking at the story of Daedalus, is how you pronounce that. I know it looks like Daedalus, but this is from ancient Greece, and in ancient Greece, if this was in Greek, the A and the E, I don't know if you've ever seen it, they get mushed together into like one letter. And so it's pronounced Daedalus and Icarus. Okay, so as you read the story, make sure that you're doing those two things, that you're looking for the different events and identifying unknown words and phrases. Okay, so you can use the highlighter feature up here, and the My Notes sections as well. Okay, so after you read the story, here's what we're going to be doing with it. It says, what events create a conflict in the story? What is Daedalus's response to the conflict? Okay, so at the beginning of the story, where does that conflict happen? Number two, what words might give you insight into what kind of person King Minos is? So finding textual evidence to what words do they use to describe King Minos. What elements in the story are characteristics of a myth? So all of us have heard myths before. So when we think of a myth, what type of things do we think of in general as myths? So make sure, and how does that match with the story of Icarus and Daedalus? What inference can you make based on paragraphs 34 and 35? Remember, an inference is that best guess based on textual evidence. What event is the turning point or climax in the story? What event is the part of the following action? The climax does take place pretty close to towards the end of the story, just so you know. And there's a graphic organizer to describe details from the setting. This is going to be hard, so we're going to have to skip the graphic representation. That would be where you draw a picture. I tried to copy and paste a picture into this box and it didn't work, so we'll skip this middle box here, this middle section. And then what is foreshadowed? Okay, so this is our new word, foreshadowing. Authors use foreshadowing to add suspense and expectation about what will happen in a story. So foreshadowing is a clue or a hint the author gives, so you think you know what's going to happen later, so you want to keep reading to see if you were right. Okay, so there's details from the text about the setting and what is foreshadowed on those details. So what hints do we know about what's going to happen in the story based on the setting? Same thing with the characters. So what details do we know about the characters, and there might be a detail about a personality trait or something about one of the characters that will foreshadow or give us a hint about what's going to happen in the future. And then the conflict. So what details do we have about the conflict, and what does that give us hints about or foreshadow to the future of towards the end of the story or throughout the story, some kind of hint. Myths often try to explain natural phenomena such as earthquakes and volcanoes, or teach a lesson such as respect your elders. This myth has a lesson for the reader. What is its lesson or theme? What techniques are used to create the exposition? Remember, that's the beginning of the story, so what techniques do they use to start the story? We're going to skip past that, and then let's see, in the My Notes section, or probably in a Word document would be easier. Think of another natural phenomenon or lesson people should learn. Write the beginning or exposition to your own unique myth. Be sure to establish the story's context by introducing the setting, characters, and conflict of the story. Use figurative language, and use a variety of sentence lengths, and patterns. So you're going to write your own myth based on some natural phenomenon, like earthquakes, or rain, or, like I said, volcanoes, any kind of natural tornado, or something like that. You can make up your own myth similar to a Greek myth. It should be kind of a fun little writing assignment. When you're done, also include that Word document in this assignment. You can just attach it in the assignment section. All right, guys. Thanks.